you a few of my moves from my workout today. They didn't look like they would hurt, but they did. So, I'm using, you can just get 2 paper plates and try this out if you don't need anything special. I'm using 2 paper plates. You're gonna go into plank like this, and then you're gonna go up, over, up, down, up, over, up, down, up, over. This totally works your lower abdominal muscles. For those of you who've had like kids or C-sections, woo! All right, so you're gonna do, I don't know, 3 sets of 10, like not 5 each leg, 10 each leg. Then you're gonna do this. This is gonna be fun. So today's workout was cardio, core. So we did 2 cardio moves and then a core move. The best part I find I used to think that cardio meant that you had to run on a treadmill to get skinny. Like I'd go to the gym for 2 hours and still run on the treadmill after a 2-hour class, thinking that it would make me skinny, and it never did. So, I didn't know the difference. So in these workouts that I do, cardio is usually involved with weights, and then there's one day without weights. Or you just, use your body. Like we did a lot of, I'm double banding it. You don't have to, but I'm double banding this workout. None of this is like, I hate these. They always roll. You try not, she says not to put them too far up your legs because they will roll. Mine usually roll mid-workout anyway. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go back onto your plates or your sliders or whatever. You're gonna do a forearm plank like this. Okay? And then you're gonna open. Make sure you gotta keep your butt down. I tend to put mine in the air because it's easier. So you're gonna do 3 sets of 10 of these, and these effing kill. They work everything because you're using the resistant bands and the sliders, and you're in plank. Those are crazy. So yeah, those are 2 of my moves today that I was like, I'm excited for like when she was like, okay, on the ground. I was like, yes. And then I was like, no, they're not as easy as you think they are. So today, I want to talk about worst case scenario, like so freaking what, all right? Worst case scenario, as we're making our goals this year, well, as we're making our goals for next year in 2018, we get kind of scared. Like, and if you're not writing goals that are making you nervous or scared, and they ain't big enough, if you think that you can accomplish them in no time, then you need to like make them a little bigger. Make your dreams a little scarier. So the so what mentality, like worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario if you don't reach your goals on your goal list? What is the worst case scenario? Oh, my name's Marissa. As you hop on, tell me hi, say hello, like, heart, comment. Tell me where you're from. If you're catching the replay, tell me about hashtag replay and tell me where you're from. Hi, Liana. So what is the worst case scenario as you make your goals for 2018? So a lot of us don't like to make goals because they're scary. Like we don't want to fail. A lot of us don't like to make goals because what if we don't achieve them? A lot of us write down goals and then hide them and we never see them again. And then we don't achieve them, like maybe you wrote goals in 2016 and you just saw them and you're like, shit, I forgot I wrote these. Because we don't keep them in our eyes view, right? So what if you write goals and your goals are huge and big and lofty and they scare you because they should be scary as you write them down. Not debilitating and crippling scary, but like they force you to do better. They force you to work harder. They force you to go after them. They're not things that are just going to be easy to achieve, right? And it's hard writing goals is hard. So what, worst case scenario, so what? Worst case scenario, you don't achieve your goals. So say, you don't write down, you don't start a weight loss program, because you feel like you never lose the weight anyway. You always gain it back. You never lose the weight you want to lose in 3 months. Well, maybe your goals are unrealistic because you ain't going to lose 80 pounds in 3 months. Like, that's just not going to happen. So make sure your goals are realistic. But I will never lose all the weight that I want to lose. Well, how do you know unless you try it? Well, I've failed every time. Like, come March, I always gain my weight back. Well, what are you doing? What plan are you working from? Are you depleting calories? Are you cutting out all these obnoxious things? Are you cutting out carbs and cutting out sugar and then adding them? Are you replacing 2 meals a day with a shake and then eating dinner and then after 3 months you're done and you start eating again? That's not going to work. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to last because you're not teaching your body how to eat. You're not teaching your mind how to eat, and you're not changing anything. You're just supplementing. And unless you're going to supplement for the rest of your life, it's not going to work. So, what is the worst case scenario if you don't try? But what if you're afraid to fail? I don't want to try because I'm afraid to fail. I don't want to start a new business. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to whatever your scary goal is. A lot of people it's I don't want to pay off debt so I can buy a house because that is scary. Buying a house is scary. But what about all these things? And maybe you run a business, or maybe you want to start a business, and maybe you want to invest into that business, or maybe you're trying a weight loss program, or maybe you're just thinking of it, but you don't want to try it because you don't want to fail. What's the worst that can happen? You are who you are right now. That is the worst thing that can happen, is not trying. If your goal isn't big enough to fail for, because I will tell you right now, you're going to fail. But if your goal isn't big enough for you to fail forward and learn, then you're never going to reach success. So, do you take action or do you not take action? Do you not take action because you feel like you're going to fail? Like, what is the worst that can happen if you fail? Think about that. Think about what's the worst that can happen if you fail at starting a business. What is the worst that can happen if you fail at buying a house? What is the worst that can happen if you fail at saving money? What is the worst that can happen if you fail at paying off debt? What is the worst that can happen if you fail at weight loss? What is the worst that can happen if whatever's on your goal list? What is the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen if you don't, change your mindset? What is the worst that can happen if you don't invest into yourself this year? You are who you are right now. That is the worst that can happen, right? And I'm not saying that you're a horrible person. I'm not saying that's worse. I'm saying you are who you are right now. Nothing worse can possibly happen. But what is worse, and what is worse than being who you are right now, what is worse than being who you currently are in that position of wanting to change and wanting to strive to be better, is not giving yourself the opportunity to fail. Not giving yourself the opportunity to succeed. Just not giving yourself the opportunity at all. That is worst case scenario. That is the worst possible thing that can happen in 2018. For you, for me, for anybody. not writing your goals, not showing up to your life, not striving to reach those goals because you're scared to fail. That is worst case scenario. Not giving yourself the shot, not giving yourself the opportunity, not going after your goals. That is worst case scenario. Besides the worst case scenario of not trying, say you invest in yourself and you go to a seminar. Worst case scenario, most people would say, is that you spend money that it didn't work for you, right? No, worst case scenario is you are who you are right now. You are worst case scenario if you don't, invest in mindset change, or you don't invest in your fitness, or you don't, maybe you want to have a better marriage, maybe whatever. Worst case scenario is you are where you are right now as you sit there and you want to make those goals and you want to change and you want to be different. You want to be better. You want to have a better life. You want to have a better relationship. You want to feel better. You want to feel better about yourself. Like, worst case scenario is that you are who you are right now. That's it. So you fail. Worst case scenario is you are who you are right now. Well, I don't necessarily, start a diet because I know that I'll fail after 3 months. Guys, weight loss, anything you're going to try, weight loss, like anything you're going to try in life is going to be hard and you are going to fail, but it's the fact that you need to fail forward. That's what it is. You're gonna fail. So don't hold yourself back because you're afraid to fail and you're scared of failure, because you are gonna fail. But you need to fail forward. You need to learn. Failing is learning. You fall off the wagon, you get back on. Or my daughter fell off her horse the other day. And I told my friend, and she's like, well, you know what the saying is? Fall off the horse, you get back on. And I'm like, haha, funny. Like, she's got a bruised tailbone and like, But it is. That's the saying. You fall off the horse, you get back up. You get back on. So don't gyp yourself. Do not show up to your life in 2018. Don't sit there and not write goals. Or maybe don't sit there and not take action on your goals. Don't write goals and then shove them in a drawer because you're afraid to fail. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're just going to be stuck where you are right now again, this time, next year, writing the same goal. And you know what's even worse than that? Not giving yourself the opportunity. Having regret that you never gave yourself the opportunity in 10 years to have a better relationship, be a better parent, whatever your goal is, to pay off debt, to buy a house, whatever your goal is. You're failing yourself by not showing up. You're failing yourself by not giving yourself the opportunity. So think about that and write it down. Think about it and write it down. What is your worst case scenario if you fail at not buying a house this year? What is the worst case scenario? So you still rent the house you're in. What is your worst case scenario if you don't lose 80 pounds this year? Maybe you'll lose 60. Maybe you'll lose 40. Maybe you'll lose 30. But if you don't try, you're going to be where you are right now. Right? That's what happens. So you need to go out there, write your goals down, and next to your goals, when you feel scared, because you should feel scared when these goals are written down, because they should scare you, because you are changing. You are committing to change for yourself. So when you write these goals down and you write your action plan, think about it. Think about what worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario that will happen if I don't buy a house in 2018? I still have a roof over my head. I'm still renting, right? What is the worst case scenario if I don't pay off all my debt? I still have debt to pay. Hopefully you don't accumulate anymore. What is the worst case scenario if I don't start a fitness journey? You are where you are right now, right? You don't feel better. You won't feel better about yourself. You won't help your anxiety. You won't help your depression. And you know how when I say fitness correlates with everything else in life, the discipline, the commitment, etc. So, well, the worst case scenario isn't being where you are right now in a year. The worst case scenario is, in fact, not giving yourself that opportunity and living with regret. So, I challenge you to think about your goals and think about the regret that you will have in the worst case scenario of those goals and not hitting those goals. Won't you feel guilty for not trying your hardest, not working towards your goals? I know I would. So write them down. Write down your goals, write down your action plans, make them scary, but not debilitating. And think about what is the worst case scenario if I don't reach these goals. It's the fact that you didn't give yourself the opportunity to try to hit them, in my opinion. Or you are where you are right now, where you're sitting there thinking about how much you want to change, but you're scared to put the effort in. You're scared that you may fail. I hope this was helpful. I hope you all have a fabulous day, and I'll chat with you all later. Bye.